tell me something about yourself. What makes you unique?
So, good evening. My name is Arya Mohite. I come from a small but beautiful city of Satara, which is situated in Maharashtra. My dad is a businessman and my mother is a housewife. I'm a commerce student and I've done my 11th and 12th from Symbiosis College, Pune. So, I'm an academically inclined student and I've grabbed the first rank in all of my school examinations. Other than that, I love reading self-help books and books on entrepreneurship. Also, along with that, I read articles on psychology. I also love playing basketball, and I was the captain of my school's basketball team too. I love managing events, and while I was a head boy of my school, I've managed and organized annual gatherings and competitions and fests too. And that is when I realized my passion for management.
Good. Okay. So, you mentioned that your father runs a business, right? Which
Yes,
industry is it in, and can you tell me a little more about that?
sure. So my father is in the automobile industry. We have a
Okay.
dealership of Mahindra two-wheelers, and it sales
Okay.
as well as services. But for the past 2 years, Mahindra has stopped the sales department. So right now, only the services department is
Okay.
running.
Okay. So you run a service center, and in the service center, do you have an alignment machine for the vehicles?
Uh, yes, there is an alignment machine. So basically, for the chassis part, when there's a vehicle which comes with damaged chassis, if the chassis is actually repairable, then we use the alignment machine.
Uh,
If it's not, then basically you have to replace the chassis.
to prevent tire wear and tear, in how many kilometers is an alignment recommended by the industry standards to optimize the value of your tire life?
Sorry, I'm actually not aware of that.
All right, you've also mentioned that you've managed many events. So
Yes.
what was your biggest failure when managing one of the events and how did you overcome it?
Okay, can I have some time to think on this?
Sure. Take your time.
So, as far as I remember, I don't think there was something which went totally bad while I was arranging an event. But I remember this one day where we actually hosted a debate competition, and one of the chief guests, which was the highlight of the debate competition, he couldn't come due to some emergency. So we basically had to call in for another chief guest. So I knew one of my friend's father. He was into literature, and I asked him if, and he was an influential person. So I basically asked my friend if he could call in his father, and he came to the debate competition, and that's how we actually managed to overcome this.
All right, you've also mentioned that you're interested in psychology.
I'm not I'm not interested as such, but I read articles on psychology, which I find interesting.
So can you please tell me what is the recent development in the field of psychology if you've you're abreast of the topic or the field?
Actually, for the past few months, and I did not get the time to follow it because of boards and examinations. So I think I don't know.
All right. So you've also mentioned that you're interested in basketball, right?
Yes, I am.
So can you name an Indian player who has recently got admitted in the NBA?
I have read about this, but I'm not able to recall his name as such.
All right. So,
Okay.
yes, Mr. Syed.
Huh. I'm sorry I got disconnected. Pretty bad range here. Oh, I would like to continue my line of questioning regarding your the business that your
Yeah.
father is in. Oh,
Yeah.
While I was asking you the question, industry recommended kilometers per alignment. So I would like to know the answer for that.
I'm actually not aware of that.
Okay, fine, fine. All right. And do you do? Is there a wheel balancing machine in the workshop present?
No, I'm sorry, but I don't recall if I've seen such machine,
Okay, all right.
or there may be, but I
Okay,
don't know if it's used for that purpose.
okay, fine. So, recently, there has been an SUV from Mahindra, which is quite the talk of the town now. It has
Yes,
been very popular. And
yes.
what would you say are the most salient features of this car, and name the car as well?
I guess the car which you are talking about is XUV 700.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, one of the
Yeah.
most salient features of it is the EDAS system, which is used in the XUV 700. The
Hmm.
other than that, the price point of the vehicle is also one of the important features,
Mhm.
because the car
Okay.
is launched at 11 or 12 lakhs, which is basically economical, and the features
Okay.
which it offers in this price point. Uh,
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
yes,
So
you were
you've
saying
covered
something?
the features. I'd like to ask GST rate for services provided on vehicles.
It's as far as I know, it's around 28%.
Okay. Fine. And can you name any hatchbacks from Mahindra that are currently running?
Hatchback from Mahindra. No, I don't know of any hatchback which is currently running in the
Okay,
market.
fine, fine. Okay. Are you aware of any sedans of Mahindra that are running right now? They're still in production.
Sedans of Mahindra. No, I don't know. I'm not aware of any sedans.
Fine. Okay. You've mentioned you like to read self-help books, right? So can you tell me about the last book which you read in this domain?
Yes, the last book which I read was The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey.
Okay. What is the sixth habit in this book that was mentioned?
I don't remember the order of habits which he has mentioned, because it was also a
Okay.
long time back.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
remember one of the important hobbies he told, was habits he told, was that basically we should focus on things we that are actually in our control. So there are three things. First are the things we can actually control. The second is basically the things which we can not totally control, but we can still have an impact on them.
Okay.
And the third things
Hmm.
are those which are totally out of our hands.
Okay, fine. Do you remember the exact words in which the author has written this habit?
No, I don't tend to remember this.
Fine, okay, not an issue. Just can you try to name any three habits that have been mentioned in the book? Any three habits out of the seven,
Okay.
if you can recall them.
Mm, okay. Okay. The first habit was being proactive.
Okay,
Then the second habit, no, I don't think I'll be able to recall any
it's
other
fine.
title as
No,
such,
no
but
worries, no
I
worries.
can.
Okay, you're interested in basketball, right? So can you
Yes.
tell me the NBA standard measurements of the court and breadth? You just have to tell me the area inside the sidelines, or you can tell me the probably the length and breadth of the sideline and the baseline. That would work.
When there's a player who has the control of a ball, and when there are two or more players who offensively go and try to defend, or charge or attack on him. So
Okay.
basically, it's called as charging. As far as I know, this is how it works.
Okay. So then, what is blocking? The foul blocking.
No, I'm not aware of that.
No worries. No worries. Are you aware of the term hand checking
And
in basketball?
checking, I'm not
Hand
so sure,
checking.
but No, I'm
Go
not
ahead, give
so
it a
sure
try
about,
anyway.
but I think it's
I'd like
basically
you to
used
try.
to,
Hmm.
yeah. So it's basically used to see the ball which is being used in the game. So it's basically used to check if the ball is all right or if there's nothing wrong with the ball as such.
Okay. And what position do you play?
So basically, as a player, they expect me to play as a center or a power forward, but I actually play as a point guard to facilitate and organize
Okay,
the game.
fine. Okay. So, as your skills, with respect to the skills that you have learned as a point guard or the skills that you've acquired through point guard, how do you think you can apply this through to IPM and management in general?
Okay, so point guard is basically a person who leads the team and who basically organizes a play. So basically,
Hmm.
in IPM, I think I can use this when I'm working in a team to organize or when we're working as a team together on a particular project. So it'll help me in applying it there to facilitate or to organize a project in a certain way.
Okay, fine. And think playing center would be more beneficial than playing point guard. What is your views on this?
Yes, that makes sense. And but the thing was, the team which I used to play with, uh, basically they had tall. There were people who were as tall as me, and but there was no one to control or handle the point guard position, and
Hmm.
that's why I used to play as a point guard.
Okay, good. Okay. Yes, Muskan, you can go.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sahil. So you're from Maharashtra.
Yes, I am from
So can
Maharashtra.
you please tell me the top three crops that Maharashtra is famous for in India?
Uh, yes, the first one is sugarcane.
Mhm.
The second crop I would say is rice, and the third crop I would say is I guess it's wheat, but I'm not so sure. But I think it's wheat.
Wheat. And
Yes.
why do you think these crops are so well grown in Maharashtra? What is one reason behind it?
Sorry, I did not. As far as I know, Maharashtra is the biggest producer of these three crops. The second reason I think is for sugarcane, the weather of Maharashtra, which is basically dry, and that's the term for a climate which is dry as well as wet for some period. I don't know the term, but yeah, this way this weather is basically favorable for the sugarcane crop,
All right.
and for the other two, I'm not aware.
Hmm. All right. So who's the MP of your constituency?
Sorry, I'm not aware of it.
MLA?
I'm not aware of it. I'm
Chief
sorry.
Minister of Maharashtra?
Chief Minister of Maharashtra currently is Eknath Shinde.
All right. And who is the governor?
Sorry, I'm not able to recall.
All right. Not a problem. So you've completed your 11th and 12th from Symbiosis. So why not
Yes.
continue your college also there? Why IPM specifically?
Okay. So basically, I've stayed in Pune particularly for more than 4 years now,
Hmm.
and also I've been in Symbiosis. So basically, the experiences which I think I had to take from the place and the college, the experiences which the college had to offer, the things which I had to learn from my peers there, I've already learned it. And to get a better exposure, I think IPM is a better place because it's a place where people from all over the country from different cultures come. So I think I'll be able to learn more from IPM. That's why, and I'll get a better exposure.
But we see in Symbiosis too, when you enter college, people from all, different parts of countries come. And you said that already you were in 4 years, so you've gained a lot of exposure. So
Yeah.
what if you come to IIM Rohtak and after 3 years then you move out?
So
Plus,
if
it's a
I
5 year
think,
program, so I think 5 is greater than 4. You'll
Exactly.
probably feel like you've learned everything that you can
And
in
then
4 years
you
again. What about the 5th year of the program?
basically, I guess the reason behind why Rohtak asked me to Rotak gives this option to students to take to leave the program after 3 years is one of the reasons I think is because if they think if the student thinks that he has learned what he wants to from the institution and what the place has to offer, and then I guess it's one of the reasons why Rohtak allows students to leave the program after 3 years. So if I feel I've taken what I have to from the institution, the faculty, the students there, then I don't think there's something wrong in leave and going and doing an MBA from it.
Mr. Arya, can you please tell us what is IIM Rohtak actually famous for? Which program specific?
Uh, I'm sorry, I don't know about this.
I think Muskan, we can give him his extempore topic.
All right, we'll continue it afterwards. Extempore. Just imagine that you are an entrepreneur, right?
Right.
And you have a small automobile industry to run. You've just started,
Okay.
you just come up, you just started. So give a plan that how you will run, how you will allocate resources, and whatever your basic structure that you will follow. You have 30 seconds to prepare.
So, are you ready, Mr. Raja?
Yes. So if I have to start my startup in automobile industry, so the first thing which I've observed is most important in automobile industry, especially, is the management of inventory of the spare parts and the supply chain. Because one of the examples I can give is of my own father itself. Because when Mahindra shut down its sales department, most of the dealers of Mahindra had to leave or had to shut down their shop. But one of the reasons my father still continues in this sector is because of his inventory management and supply chain management. The other thing which I've noticed that's very important to maintain good customer relations, because if you provide good quality service to the customers, then the customers will come back to you, and that there will be a trust between you and the customer, which is also one of the other important factors.
All right. So you mentioned customer trust as the most important thing. So how will you
Yes.
ensure that, you know, customers come to you?
I'll ensure. So one of the things which I've observed in the service sector is that the people to whom you take your car or your two-wheeler to service, uh, these people they basically suggest you to change some parts of the cars which are actually not needed. So it's basically to earn more profit from the customers. But I'll make sure that I don't do any such things. I'll make sure I provide them a good quality service. I'll give them an assurance. And if there's something which I've went wrong, then I'll provide them the service for it. And I'll try to provide it in a more better way.
Okay. I'd just like to ask you one question. If you're running your own,
Yes.
for example, service center, for example,
Yes.
a customer comes to you and says that his AC vent has been damaged because of the foam cleaning that was taking. But
Okay.
your employee says to you that it was not his fault. There was already something that had happened because of which when he tried to operate, there was fault, right? But the customer claims that no, it's not my fault. It's once you started operating, only then it got defective. So what do you do in such a situation? How do you handle this crisis?
So basically, before servicing of any vehicle, there's a customary check of the entire vehicle. We check what parts are damaged, what parts are not. So before servicing, we give the customer a summary of what is wrong with the vehicle. So if we find it beforehand that the AC vents were damaged, so we'll tell it to the customer before servicing the vehicle. And if the customer says that it's damaged because of the foam, we'll have a summary which we already have provided to him, and there will be a proof that the AC vents were damaged because of the foam.
All you know
Okay.
is it's the employee's word against the customers. There was no screening that took place. All right. what do you do in such an ethical dilemma that you have? How do you resolve the situation? And because the cost of the damages is also pretty high, if you compensate the customer, that would leave a huge impact on your business. What do you think is the right step to be taken here?
So, if we do not carry out the SOP, that is standard operating procedure of giving a customer recheck, then it's basically a fault on our part, not the customer's part. So, and if the customers and the employee has got into a fight, then basically it says employees are basically trained to not get into fights with customers, because customers should be served as God. So I think we should actually give the required service to the customer, and we should replace what part, the EC part, which on which there was a fight due to.
So, Mr. Ara, you had commerce with maths, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I had commerce with math.
All right. So you must have studied integration and differentiation
Yes, I've studied
in
integration and
class 12.
differentiation.
So what is the application of integration and differentiation with respect to management? How would you apply it in the field of management?
One of the uses of integration I know is used in computer software, and is used in computer software. And computer software play an important part in management. So I guess that's how integration and differentiation will help us in management.
Oh, okay, that is a good
All
answer,
right.
but
Just
something more
computer
simplistic.
software? Do you
Yes, can you apply integration and differentiation into something much more simpler in business?
Sorry, I'm not able to recall at present what it's used for.
also, Mr. Arya, what is your plan after 5 years? What after IPM?
Okay, so basically, I've grown up in a business environment, and I've seen my elder brother go from working for other startups to starting a startup of his own. And I've from a young age, I've had a lot of interest on the business side of things and how startups work. So my end dream is to basically provide a solution to a problem which is faced by society at large. And I dream of having a startup which provides solutions to people's problems.
How would you define an entrepreneur in your own words?
In my own words, okay. An entrepreneur is someone who starts a business. Not okay, yeah, an entrepreneur is someone who starts a business and is willing to risk loss in order to earn profits, and not only profits, but also to serve the society at large.
Okay. So what is the difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman?
An entrepreneur is someone who basically starts something which is not done before,
Okay.
and a businessman is someone who is basically doing something which is not completely new, or yes, that's what I think is the
Okay.
basic difference between an entrepreneur and a
Okay.
businessman.
So who's the co-founder of Ola Cabs? Founder, sorry.
Founder of Ola Cabs. Sorry, I'm not able to recall his
Fine.
name.
Okay. So is he an entrepreneur or a businessman?
So as far as I know, Ola was not completely a new concept. It was taken from, I guess, I guess it was a concept which was taken from US, and then it was applied to India.
Okay.
So I would not as such call him as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And
From
yeah,
which company do you think he could have derived his idea of Ola Cabs?
I guess it was Uber. Yes, I guess it was Uber itself.
Okay, fine. So now Ola is venturing out into the EV business, right? EV, two-wheelers,
Yes,
etc. So where have they set
yes.
up their plant of manufacturing, producing electric two-wheelers?
Sorry, I'm not aware of that. But I think I'm taking a wide guess. I think it's in some part of South India.
South India's pretty like South India has 5 states, right? So would you like to take a
Yeah.
guess in which, at least in which state they have started manufacturing?
I don't know as such. So I guess it because one of the states in South India, it was basically giving out various schemes to companies who were willing to put their plants, basically the EV plants, in their own state.
Okay.
So I guess it was Tamil Nadu. I am not sure.
Okay, fine. And where is the headquarters of Ola Cabs?
Sorry, I'm not aware of it.
Fine. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Now, what are the exact subjects which you had in your class 12?
I had economics,
Okay.
accountancy,
Hmm.
organization of commerce and management,
Hmm.
and mathematics, along with Hindi and English.
Okay, fine. So now, can you can you tell me a journal entry wherein TDS has to be deducted to be paid to the employees?
Okay, I'll give it a try. Sorry, I'm actually not able to recall this.
Okay, fine. Uh, are you aware of the concept of a cash flow statement?
Yes, I'm aware about the concept of cash flow statement.
Okay, have you studied it in your class 12? Like how to prepare it?
Yes, I have studied in class.
Now, can you tell me a few of the account heads that go in the debit side of a trading account for a sole proprietor?
So basically, the goods purchased,
Okay,
then there is lighting expenses, that is electrical or factory heating expenses.
okay.
Then there's transportation expenses, like bringing the raw materials to the factory.
What is the exact account head convention that is used for this?
I'm not able to recall it.
Sure, fine, fine. Okay, for a non-profit organization, like for profit organizations, whatever the revenue, the surplus that is left with them is called profit, right? So, what is a similar term used for a non-profit organization?
I guess it's surplus itself.
Okay. Now, can you explain inflationary gap to me?
Sorry, I'm not aware of what
Okay,
inflationary gap is.
fine. Okay. And are you aware of the law of diminishing marginal utility?
Yes, I'm aware of law of diminishing marginal
Okay. If you
utility.
were to explain it to a 2-year-old kid, okay, not a 2-year-old kid, probably like a 10-year-old kid, how would you explain it to him or her?
To put it in a one-liner, I would say the more of a thing you have, the
Hmm.
less you want to have more of it.
Okay, fine. Are there any exceptions to this?
Yes, for the law of diminishing marginal utility, the exceptions are hobbies, then there's
Okay.
power, there is money, or there are addictions such as alcohol.
Do you know who is the candidate for? Do you know the candidate for presidential elections? It is a,
No, sorry, I'm not aware of it.
all right. So, who is the president of France?
It's Emmanuel Macron, I guess.
All right. And who is the Secretary General of the United Nations?
Sorry, I'm not aware of it.
All right. Okay. So,
Yes,
thank you so much, Mr. Arya. We wish you all the best.
thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Muskan, just one question from my side. Uh, if you were to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, your performance today in this interview, how much would you rate yourself?
Okay. I would rate it a 5, I guess. A 5 or 6.
Fine. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Arya,
Thank
I
you.
think we can conclude this interview right now. Thank you so much for attending this interview. We'll get back to you with your results.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Now we'll move to the feedback. I think Muskan, you can give the feedback first.
Yes. So, Arya, firstly, I like that you are confident, you're fluent, and you are placing the camera right. Okay. And you were not slouching. So, your non-verbal cues showed that you were confident and you could see it in your speech. So, that's a very good point. I've already mentioned that you were very fluent. What were the areas of improvement were firstly when you were your tell me about yourself was really good. It was. But what you were saying, you did not back it up with information, right? If you're saying that you have an interest in the field of psychology, you need to be aware that what currently is going on. You need to be
Okay.
aware of the basketball recent news. You need to be aware of the
Yeah.
terms, right?
Yeah.
Certain questions Sahil asked you about it. It was great that you were aware about,
Yeah.
you were so much aware about the automobile industry, about what your father was doing.
Yeah.
It was really great, right? What
Okay.
could have
Thank you.
been, you could improve on the other areas. What you're mentioning in tell me about yourself, you need to have information, because these are nuggets that you're giving to the interviewers to ask questions, right?
Right.
Also, you're a cat. I know that it might be a different board, but whatever
Yeah.
you have been taught, you're not a dropper, right?
No, I'm not a drop.
Okay. So they would be expecting you to know the basics of your subjects. So you need to brush up
Yeah.
the subject. I really liked your answer that you connected integration and differentiation with management. Right. It was
Yeah.
really good. So, but
Okay.
with the practical applicability of your subjects, you also need to brush the basics of your subjects. Right.
Right.
And at certain part of the interview, I think you got nervous. So there were certain non-verbal cues, unconscious movements with your face, I think with your tongue.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
just.
yes, yes. Interviews will be noticing that. Right. Try to,
Okay.
because they were distracting. Try to
Right.
control your unconscious movements. And will this be your position when you would be giving the interview? Will this be the place, or you will be moving on
No,
to the
I'll
other?
be in a different place. I'll be moving on to other place.
Okay. Ensure that you have good lighting there. Your face is
Yeah.
dark right now. See, Sahil,
Yeah.
how the
Yes, I can see
lighting,
that.
that should be the lighting in your room.
Yes,
Ideally,
I'll make
So,
sure.
what you can do is that place the source of light in front of you and behind the camera,
exactly.
or maybe in a place where it falls right on your face, right? So if I turn off this light,
Right.
this is what will this is what the camera will show, right? But if I turn on a light that
Right.
focuses on my face, it looks much
Exactly.
better.
Right.
So
Right.
try to sit in a position wherein the light falls directly on your face, right?
Sure.
And lastly, just to brush up who's the MP, MLA of your constituency, because they ask questions like this. Governor,
Yes,
captains,
I'll make sure
brush the general affairs part. Do brush the general affairs
I'll
part.
sure I'll do.
Yes.
Yes, I'll do it.
So
And one
I'll.
more question.
Hmm.
So basically, the concept that is serious, what the general entry of CDS is, basically we did not have these concepts. And I guess if the interviewer starts asking questions and most of the questions are not in our syllabus or was not a part of our syllabus. So, just saying that it was not a part of our syllabus for every question just might not give a good impression. So
No, no, it's
what
not
can
like
be
that.
an alternative?
Hmm. It's not like that. See, we had a seniors also who were from different boards. Some were from state boards, some were from the other boards. So it does not make a
Okay.
difference. Just politely tell the interviewer, sorry, sir, I was from this board, whatever your board is, and we did
Okay.
not cover it in our class 11th. Just politely say that, because they also understand. Not everybody can be
Right.
from CBSE or ICS,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
So just politely tell them. It won't look bad on your part, because it's not your fault. You've shown your merit
Right.
by getting selected for the interview process. So when it's not there, it's
Right.
not, right. And also
All right.
be ready
Got
with
it.
your documents. Be ready with your documents.
Yeah.
Have soft
Right.
copies as well on your main
Yes.
device and
Sure.
your phone as well,
Yes, I'll
just
have
in
them.
case.
Sure.
So this was all from my part. I'll give Mr. Sahil to speak. Bye,
Okay, Arya.
Sahil.
So let's come to your feedback now. Firstly, mark sheets. Uh, what
Yes.
is I'll focus on the micros first, right? So for your mark sheets, make
Okay.
sure you have the
Yeah.
device which you're using is your primary device, the device you're going to be using for
Yeah,
the
it's my
interview.
primary device.
Fine, okay.
Yes.
So what you can do is maybe have them on a drive, okay, and the email
Okay.
ID you can have it both on your phone and your laptop just in case something goes wrong. So have your mark
Yes.
sheets with you and any certificates if you were going to mention them, right? I don't think you mentioned any
Yeah.
certifications in your tell me something about yourself, and that is completely fine.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now about basketball. See, they won't ask you so much. I personally play basketball a lot, so I know all this. Right.
Okay.
I've played for
Okay.
my school team, and so I know hand checking, all this stuff. They probably won't ask you
Yeah.
in that, in the details in which I have asked you. So
Yeah.
industry recommendation is 5,000 kilometers per alignment. Okay.
Okay.
Habits of highly effective people. I've read the book,
Yeah.
so I was able to ask you questions. And just if you have a basic, if you're mentioning a book, just have a basic idea about the ideas of the book. So those 7 habits are the
Like
main
the
ideas.
thing is, yeah, the thing is, I read this book almost 2 years back, and from then on, I started reading on books of other genre and books on startups and entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So this was the last self-help book which I had
So
read.
yeah, so maybe you can mention. So maybe you, if you want, you can not mention self-help and just mention you've been reading books about entrepreneurship and startups. So they'll
All
probably
right. All right.
question you in that line. They can probably ask you which
All
book
right.
did you read about entrepreneurship last? What was the main idea behind that?
Right.
If you read about a startup, how did the startup idea come to the co-founder or founder, etc. Right?
Right.
So basically, whatever you're
Right.
telling, tell me something about yourself. They're going to question you on it. Okay.
Right.
So make sure to mention things about which you're confident, right? So if they ask you
Right.
something about that field, you can give them almost all the possible answers that they can question you on. Basketball, I'm pretty sure
Right.
you'll answer everything. Okay. I just wanted to rattle you with the perimeters, and I saw you got rattled. This was just a test
Yeah.
that the interviewers will be taking. So you have to make sure
Right.
that this you don't get rattled and you are confident. Okay. And
Right.
maybe you can also prepare an answer on entrepreneurs versus businessmen. So
All right.
you gave 1 point, which was a good enough and valid point, but maybe just 2 more points if you have, that'll work. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe a CAD's. Okay, I was from CBSE, and they
Okay.
usually ask questions like these only. So what you can do is maybe in your introduction you can put emphasis on you were from Maharashtra board, right? So
Right.
later in the stage of the interview, when you tell them politely that sir or ma'am, I'm sorry, I was from the Maharashtra board. We didn't have this in our portions. Uh, this
Okay.
you can tell topics that this is something that we have. If you are from any other board, what you can do is tell it during your introduction, and then if they ask you
Okay.
questions and you're not aware of these, just mention that I'm from this Maharashtra board, and this was not covered in my syllabus. Topics from my, for example, math. If they ask you a math question, you can tell in math we covered this, right? Fine. I think this should
Okay.
work.
All right.
They won't pester you on questions that were a part of CBSE or ICSE portions.
All
Okay.
right.